The outsider walks among us. Wonder what that's all about. Anyway, hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Dishonored. Today we're going to take a closer look around the hub area that we found ourselves in last time, which is the Hound Pits pub, and the surrounding area. Now I will say that if you want to really scour this place, it is teeming with things to sell, with coins and notes. Notes like this one on the continent Pandysia. Pandysia is kind of like the Dishonored equivalent to Pangea, and it is the likely origin of the rat plague. There's also a really cool detail about it on the map, which is that it's intentionally drawn smaller than it actually is because the Empire cartographers were instructed to do so, because the Empire didn't want the citizens of the Isles to feel insignificant next to it. These are a lot of notes on whale processing, the way whale oil is refined and used, and how pervasive a fuel source it is. More on that in a second. There's also an audio log here for Piero that we're going to listen to.
The Academy was...
We're going to learn a lot about Piero.
The Academy teaches that absurd idea.
I had to rebuild from scratch. So much the better. I was sick of using tools made by lesser men.
The pressure and the cold are too much to endure without it. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time, and then observe them for years if need be, to see if the formulation of energetic substances develop. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities, subject to the necessary legal amnesty.
There's also this interesting little gateway painted on to the stone wall, and this note next to it about Piero's door to nowhere. And it's proven a safety hazard. That one we're going to learn a little bit more about. Not in the not too distant future, I should say. Now, I'm not going to get every note in the game because there are a lot of them. And the world is pretty rich, and they do a lot... Oh, hold on.
You could only be Corvo. I suppose you're practicing for your... Well,
She is not in this room,
to make yourself at home.
even though she's talking like she sees me.
Empress, rest her spirit.
Hello. She's supposed to notice you doing acrobatics on the balcony if you come in that way.
Being seen. It is a bit romantic, though, isn't it?
Otherwise, if you come in the normal way, she doesn't have some of that dialogue. Also, she noticed me, so I can't pick her pocket to get that key. So like I was saying, the world is really rich in detail. And they do a lot of world building through newspaper clippings, through diaries, through songs like the Harpooner songs. Maybe now she stopped noticing me, since I went out of line of sight and started crouching. Yep. We can get that key. Didn't grab it the first time. They do a lot of environmental storytelling too, but there's so much text, and we really could not read all of it in an LP and finish this at a reasonable rate. So a lot of the world building details through the text, through the clippings and diaries and all that stuff, I will encourage you all to play this for yourselves to get the full picture of the world. And I will be touching on a lot of the topics that the notes would otherwise cover. But as for like the notes themselves, I'll linger on them long enough that if you want, you could pause and read them. And I will just continue to read out plot relevant ones. There's another key there. And again, this is all extremely, extremely optional. But there's just so much packed into every level of this game, including the Hound Pit's pub. Always want to pluralize the first word instead of the second and call it Hound's Pit. We saw a lot of notes about dogfighting operations. Or rather, we saw posters for that stuff.
My furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which, Wallace, please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
Pleased to meet you, Master Corvo. I saw you at court in happier days, but you might not remember. I was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, Hiram Burroughs, back when he was just the spy master. He's one manipulative bastard, I can tell you that.
So, we've learned quite a bit
There's
about
something
Lord
distinguished
Pendleton the
about you,
Aristocrat.
Corvo. Was there nobility back in your family line?
Oh?
What happened? Did you do that?
I just like to break his stuff because I don't like him. We also learned about how morally scrupulous Piero is, and some of the research that he was conducting, and how that research was furnished. And now it's getting late in the evening, so Corvo is going to get himself to bed. And that's going to be the trigger for our next story mission to start once we wake up. You can see, even here, there's more to explore in this hub. It's a really good preview of things to come, I find. Because for as intricate as this hub area is, every level hereafter is going to be just exponentially more complex than this. It's so beautiful. All of the ways in and out of levels, all of the options that are given to you. And pretty soon we're going to see part of what enables them to open up the level design so much. So somewhere else, we awaken. And it's looking through the windows, some kind of weird twilight. Or a dreamscape. There's that name again, The Outsider. And oh god, this is my favorite kind of like dream logic geometry. Things strewn all over, flipped at every possible contorted angle.
Hello, Corvo. Your life has taken a turn, has it not? The Empress is dead. Her precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come. For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the Outsider, and this is my mark. There are forces in the world and beyond the world, great forces that men call magic, and now these forces will serve your will. Use this newfound power, my gift to you. Come find me.
Oh, yes! Blink! A large part of the reason why the level design gets to be so wild in Dishonored, so wild and open and vertical. You cannot save her, you cannot save her, you cannot save her. A lot of the reason for that is you get this option to traverse so seamlessly in any direction. the reason why they had to go so in-depth with the level design. I'm very sad. They say that you're dead like mother, but I'm going to put this note in a bottle and throw it into the river because I do not believe them. Living here is very strange. I do not like it, so please come for me if you can. Note from Emily. Look at that. Look at what we have in the distance. We'll get a better look at that. That is a whale. So whales are hunted really commonly in this universe because every part of them is used, especially the bones, the blubber, and the oil, which we learned before is a really common fuel source. But also they are spiritual symbols. And also, remember how I was talking about the Half-Life-esque nature of the art in this game? Really shows through with those. With those especially. Oh, we're getting into the good stuff. And I kind of buried the lead on there being magic, right? And this multi-dimensional being, the outsider.
Days that follow, your trials will be great, Corvo. Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and at shrines raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men. To help you find these runes, I give you this, the heart of a living thing, molded by my hands. With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes, no matter how they may be hidden. Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
This heart is something very special. It doesn't just help you locate collectibles.
This place is the end of all things, and the beginning.
It can speak to you.
All of time is meaningless here. Neither seconds, nor centuries. Someday this place will devour all the lights in the sky. The one who walks here is all things. Cradle songs of comfort and bones gnawed by teeth. This is the place from which those who dabble in black arts draw their power. And this place is their doom. I can feel a great age ending. This place is the end of all things, and the beginning.
I love this tilted building. And falling through the windows. There's that rune just up ahead. We're gonna notice something pretty cool about it in a second. Which is that it is also carved from whalebone. And these runes are how we are going to upgrade our various powers. Not just the blink ability, but everything else that we're going to get that makes this game so fun and makes for such creative ways of getting through it and overcoming challenges. We're not going to spend that just yet, though.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you. And now I return you to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
And of course, it was not just a dream. We bear the mark of the outsider, even now. And of course, we take the heart with us as well. It's got all these cool mechanical components to it. Almost like someone built it.
Should I clear space for Samuel then?
If you like, but he won't use it.
Why?
He can't sleep in regular beds anymore, or that's what he says. Says he was in the Navy too long. Can you believe it?
Oh,
That pile of wood out there? It's a hovel he built from an old rowboat. Where does Admiral Havelock?
Yeah, we saw his rowboat home when we found the note about not Cardassia. Oh my god, no! This is not Deep Space Nine.
And money changes.
Pandysia.
Admiral Havelock has seen more corpses than all the rest put together. He has killed whales and men for profit and in pleasure. He has the bloodlust. He tried to seize control of the military after the Empress. After she, the Empress, was murdered. Look at him. Admiral Havelock grows restless on land. There was a younger brother, an artist, sensitive, soft, taken at 9 by a fever. Havelock loved him truly. Admiral Havelock has seen more corpses than all the rest put together.
Well, let's get down to it. First off, I know that assassination is dark business, but sometimes good men have to do bad things to make the world right. Our purpose is clear. We want to restore Her Majesty's line by finding and putting Emily Kaldwin on the throne. To those ends, we'll hide, act in shadow, take them apart, piece by piece. Tonight, High Overseer Campbell dies by your hand. It won't be easy. He's protected by his overseers, an army of religious zealots. But if anyone can do it, you can. Your exploits are legendary. Campbell carries a private journal. Once you've eliminated him, get the journal, because we think it contains Emily's location. Recovering her is obviously critical, assuming she's alive. That's the gist of it. Remember our cause and strike true. We're counting on you. Another thing. Campbell is holding a former overseer by the name of Martin. He's one of us, and if you manage to find him, give him whatever help you can. He's a master strategist, and he got caught working for our cause.
Attention, citizens of Dunwall. The old port district has been added.
Oh shit. That cut off his dialogue. Pretty much, he's giving us an optional objective to find a master strategist.
give you a moment.
Stay alert.
She is Callista Kurnow. She has learned to defend herself in this treacherous city. She and her uncle, the last of the Kurnow family. She dreams of freedom, and the decks of whaling ships fast after the beasts of the sea. But alas, she is a woman. Such sadness. She is Callista Kurnow.
This is the other beautiful thing about the heart, is that it lets you peer into the inner thoughts
Hello, I'm Callista.
of
I work here
characters.
for Admiral Havelock. I'm sorry to intrude on your business, but this is important. I suspect you're going to kill the High Overseer, that wretched man. There's really no reason for you to listen to me, but my uncle, Jeff Kurnow, still serves as captain in the City Watch. But he's a good man, and my only family. The chatter in servant circles is that Campbell just took delivery of an exotic poison, and I think I know why. My uncle's not corruptible like the rest of them. Campbell is going to poison my uncle. Do you think you could protect him? You used to do that, right? Before you had your current profession. Before you became an assassin.
And we have one more optional objective. But first, before we talk to Samuel and board the boat to the city proper, we're gonna get this rune that they hid here in the flooded district, or here in the hub. Thinking of the area that we're actually going to, which is the flooded district. I think I'm getting my ass chomped on by a piranha. So we now have 2, and they're essentially 2 upgrade points. We're gonna get nibbled on just a little bit more, I think. It's insignificant. Plus, we'll find some rat kebabs or something, some brined hagfish to munch on to top us off so we don't have to use an elixir. And we essentially will have mana and health potions. Oh, no, I'm caught up on something. That's not good. And over the course of the game, we'll be using the heart on almost all of the characters, I hope.
Ready to go?
But we're not going to front load
Just give the signal.
everything in this one video. We want to actually move on to eliminating High Overseer Campbell.
It'll be a rough trip. Used to be to go straight up Clavering Boulevard, but now it's not so easy. Half the city's dead of the plague. The other half's fighting over what's left. City Watch still holds the bigger streets, and they've set up those wall of light checkpoints. A man walks through one of those, and he ends up burned to a crisp. Everything not controlled by the City Watch is gang territory. Then there are the real odd birds living on the fringes, like that Granny Rags. They say she's nuts. I don't know which is worse. Just take your pick.
It's our first mention of Granny Rags, I think. I think we probably missed a couple of notes that mention her as well. By the way, the voice that you hear from the heart should sound familiar because it was a voice we heard very early in the game. That of the Empress. Arthur's notes. Dearest Gwen, the city's gonna burn. I've sold everything. It's a love letter to, his dearest Gwen. And we are...
I think that last one was moving.
What?
Yeah, the little one.
Not possible. I inspected them myself. Keep working.
just gonna deposit him. Those two were throwing corpses over the bridge into the water. Mentioned that one of them was moving. Yep. And there's also a rune or a bone charm nearby. Bone charms, we'll see what they're about in a little bit. They're a secondary collectible, which will provide some cool benefits. If we take this way up, we can actually reach that one by climbing this chain and blinking over. I think you can also probably jump, but I'm just doing that to be safe. Because your mana to a certain point will regenerate slowly. So there is a corpse here and a journal about death in the month of songs, along with some rat skewers and Darren and Gwen. Gwen seems to have abandoned Arthur, even though Arthur sacrificed everything to abscond with her. So bone charms, you can equip a limited number of them at a time. They'll give you passive benefits. This one allows us to move at normal speed with our weapons drawn. Just trying to... if you aim blink at a ledge, at the flat part of a ledge, near the top, you'll just kind of climb up it. She's just a citizen, so she won't get alerted. She does have a pouch of coins. And we topped up from the dumpster food. Great.
Attention, Dunwall citizens.
We'll just pick her pockets. Oh, this poor, poor woman. Made even poorer by us. So I think that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, everyone.